Somewhere out there, someone believes ancient humans walked 20 miles every single day just to survive. But here's the strange part. The deeper scientists dig, the more that number starts to fall apart. GPS trackers strapped to modern hunter-gatherers reveal something nobody expected. And yet the human body still carries proof of a walk so extreme it reshaped our entire species. In the next 20 minutes, we're going to solve this mystery in 3 parts: the myth, the machine, and the moment it all mattered. For years, this 20-mile number has been repeated in documentaries, books, and fitness debates until it just became accepted fact. It shaped how we picture our ancestors: tough, tireless, walking from sunrise to sunset without complaint. It even shaped how modern people see their own bodies, comparing a lazy 4,000-step day to some imagined ancient marathon. But real scientists, armed with GPS units and years of fieldwork, went looking for actual proof. What they found wasn't a myth completely busted, and it wasn't the 20-mile legend confirmed either. It was something far more interesting, a body built for a kind of endurance most modern humans have completely forgotten. Let's start with part 1, the myth itself, and where this 20-mile number actually came from. The idea makes sense on the surface. Early humans had no cars, no bikes, no shortcuts, so walking was simply life. Hunting meant walking. Finding water meant walking, moving camp meant walking, so surely the miles piled up fast. To test this, researchers didn't guess. They strapped GPS trackers onto living hunter-gatherer communities and quietly recorded every step. One of the most studied groups is the Hadza of Tanzania, one of the last populations still living by hunting and gathering. The Hadza data revealed something surprising. Men walked an average of about 7 miles a day, not 20. Hadza women walked even less, somewhere around 3.5 to 5 miles on a typical day. A separate study using step counters found Hadza adults averaging close to 16,000 steps daily, still far below what 20 miles would take. For comparison, the average person in a wealthy country today barely manages 5,000 steps in an entire day. Other hunter-gatherer groups tell a similar story. The Ache of Paraguay averaged close to 6 miles a day while actively searching for food. Across dozens of forager communities, the honest range sits closer to 3 to 9 miles on an ordinary day, not 20. So the 20-mile claim as a daily average simply doesn't hold up under real measurement. But before you close this video thinking the mystery is solved, here's the twist nobody talks about. Because while ancient humans rarely walked 20 miles on an ordinary day, their bodies were unmistakably built to survive it if they had to. That brings us to part 2, the machine. The strange biological toolkit evolution handed us for exactly this kind of punishment. To understand this toolkit, we have to travel back nearly 7 million years to the very first ancient ancestors who tried standing on 2 legs. This earliest upright walking was clumsy, inefficient, and nothing like the smooth stride humans use today. The real breakthrough came later, at a place called Laetoli, in modern-day Tanzania. There, preserved in volcanic ash for 3.66 million years, scientists found something extraordinary: a trail of footprints. Those footprints weren't just proof of walking, they showed a smooth, efficient stride almost identical to how you walk right now. This meant an efficient, human-like way of walking existed millions of years before anything resembling a modern human ever existed. But walking efficiently and walking for hours across brutal terrain are 2 very different challenges. So evolution kept building, adding one strange upgrade after another, turning the human body into something genuinely unusual on this planet. The first upgrade was cooling, because heat, not tiredness, is usually what stops a long-distance traveler first. Humans developed roughly 10 times the sweat gland density of chimpanzees, letting marathon runners today lose nearly 4 liters of sweat every hour. We didn't actually lose our body hair the way most people assume. Our hair follicle count is close to a chimpanzee's. What changed is that those hairs became fine and thin, clearing the way for sweat to evaporate freely off exposed skin. The second upgrade was the Achilles tendon, a springy cord almost unique to humans among the great apes. That tendon works like a slingshot, storing energy with every step and returning it, cutting the real cost of walking long distances. The third upgrade was hidden inside our leg muscles, packed with a higher share of slow, steady muscle fibers built for endurance, not explosive speed. Pound for pound, human legs even carry more muscle than a chimpanzee's, roughly 250 grams for every kilogram of body weight, compared to 170. And then there were the legs themselves, because longer limbs mean a cheaper, more efficient stride with every single step forward. This is where a species called Homo erectus enters the story, roughly 1.9 million years ago. Homo erectus had a body plan that looks almost shockingly modern, tall, narrow-hipped, and long-legged, built for exactly this kind of travel. Scientists modeled a famous skeleton known as Turkana Boy and found something remarkable. His long-legged build let him carry a light load more cheaply than an earlier ancestor, the famous Lucy, could even walk with empty hands. In other words, evolution hadn't just improved walking, it had improved carrying, hunting, and surviving all at once. Here's the part that surprises even people who study this for a living. Even with all these upgrades stacking up, researchers say the complete, fully modern endurance package didn't fully come together until about 1 million years ago. That means our ancestors spent millions of years walking upright before their bodies were truly built for serious distance. Standing up and walking far turned out to be two completely different evolutionary achievements separated by millions of years of fine-tuning. By the time that final upgrade clicked into place, humans had quietly become one of the best long-distance movers on the entire planet. So we've busted the 20-mile myth, and we've uncovered the biological machine built for it anyway. Now for part 3, the moment. The proof that ancient humans really did push this machine to its absolute limit when it mattered most. Because an average day is not the same as every day, and some ancient days were anything but ordinary. At Lazaret Cave in France, researchers studying Neanderthal hunting found that chasing red deer in summer could demand journeys of up to 12 miles. In winter, those same deer moved closer to camp, and that grueling 12-mile trek simply wasn't necessary. This tells us something important. Ancient movement was never a fixed daily number. It flexed hard with the seasons and the hunt. Then there's White Sands in New Mexico, home to footprints frozen in time for over 20,000 years. One trackway shows an adult carrying a toddler for almost a full mile, the prints slipping and widening under the weight of that small body. Other trackways nearby appear to show humans tracking, or even stalking, giant ground sloths across that same ancient mud. In 2024, researchers assembled a global database of endurance pursuits, moments when humans literally ran prey down on foot. That database contained 391 documented cases from 272 locations around the entire world. Nearly 71% of those cases were described as a regular, habitual part of daily survival, not rare desperate acts. And surprisingly, these extreme pursuits weren't limited to deserts. Nearly 40% happened inside dense forests. For any animal larger than about 10 pounds, running it down often cost very little extra energy, while saving enormous amounts of time. This same endurance machine did something even bigger. It moved an entire species across the planet. Climate scientists found specific windows in history when rainfall opened green corridors out of Africa, inviting human populations to spread further. Below a rough threshold of about 90 millimeters of rain a year, no forager population could survive there at all, corridor or not. One especially long, wet window, stretching from around 65,000 to 30,000 years ago, matched humanity's most successful spread across the globe. Modeling suggests the entire continent of Australia could have been fully settled in as few as 150 to 200 generations. Not through 20-mile daily marathons, but through ordinary movement, generation stacked on generation, slowly rewriting the map of the world. But the most surprising twist in this whole mystery might be what all this walking did to the human brain. Researchers studying the Hadza argue that constantly navigating large, unfamiliar territory placed real pressure on spatial memory and problem solving. In other words, finding your way home across miles of unmarked land may have quietly helped shape how intelligent our species became. Among the Tsimane people of Bolivia, scientists found that staying physically active was directly linked to slower cognitive aging. The Tsimane show some of the lowest dementia rates ever recorded anywhere in the world, just 2.7% in one major study. Even grandparents played a role. Older Hadza women foraged around 20% more than younger mothers, feeding and teaching the next generation. Ancient survival wasn't only about muscle and lungs, it was quietly training memory, teaching, and cooperation with every single journey. Of course, this incredible machine came with a price, because nothing in evolution is ever completely free. Among the Tsimane today, long-distance walking is directly linked to roughly 17% of all reported work-related pain. Most of that pain lands in the lower back, the shoulders, and the knees, the same joints modern humans complain about now. So the ancient body wasn't invincible, it was a trade, incredible endurance purchased at the cost of real physical wear over time. Which raises the question so many people ask after learning all this, could a modern human actually still pull this off? Biologically, the answer is yes. The sweat glands, the tendons, the muscle fibers, none of that ancient hardware has disappeared. What's changed is practice. Ancient humans built this endurance slowly, through daily use, not through one single heroic effort. A modern body sitting at a desk all week has simply forgotten how to use the machine it was born with. That's not a flaw in human evolution, it's a mismatch between an ancient design and a modern, mostly motionless life. So let's finally answer the question this whole video was built around. Did ancient humans really walk 20 miles every single day? Based on the best evidence available, almost certainly not. But did evolution build them a body ready to walk 20 miles, hunt for 12, or carry a child for 1 more mile if the moment demanded it? Absolutely, without question. The real story was never about one exaggerated number, it was about a species engineered for flexibility, endurance, and survival under pressure. Every sweat gland, every tendon, every steady muscle fiber is a message passed down from ancestors who outlasted, rather than outran, every threat they faced. And that relentless, adaptable endurance may be the real reason our species is still here today, while so many others simply are not. Here's something we haven't even touched yet: the strange story of how ancient humans used this same endurance to hunt animals many times their own size. It's a story involving heat, exhaustion, and one of the most patient hunting strategies ever recorded in human history. If that sounds like the kind of mystery you want solved next, there's a video waiting for you that goes deep into exactly that. Because understanding how ancient humans outlasted their prey might just change how you see your own two legs. Click that next video now, and let's keep walking through this story together.